Era. I now call Deputy Emmet Stagg. It's 5 minutes.
Well, as Concordia, the Irish people deserve to know what happened in the Irish banking system in the run-up to the economic crisis and before the introduction of the disastrous 2008 blanket bank guarantee. Since this government took office in March 2011 and was left to clean up the mess of 14 years of Fianna Fáil economic mismanagement, we have been committed to ensuring a full and comprehensive inquiry for the Irish people. This is vital to both understand exactly what happened and to learn from those mistakes. In fact, many issues surrounding the economic collapse have never been fully explored. We need to establish the facts of what happened. Over the past number of weeks, there has been a lot of misinformation in relation to the proposed banking inquiry, the timing of its establishment and its composition. In fact, some of the members of the opposition side of the House who claim to want a banking inquiry appear hostile to every step forward the government is taking to achieve this aim. As members are aware, a bill to amend the Constitution to establish an Oireachtas inquiry system was published in the summer of 2011, not long after the government came into office. A referendum was held in late October 2011, but was defeated. The defeat of the referendum naturally resulted in some delays in establishing an inquiry, as the government had to assess the best way forward for an inquiry within our constitutional framework. In spring 2013, my colleague Minister Brendan Howlin published the House of the Oireachtas Inquiries, Privileges and Procedures Bill. Minister Howlin noted at the time that the legislative proposals were drafted in close consultation with the Office of the Attorney General and External Counsel. This was to ensure that the proposed new inquiry system would fully respect the constitutional parameters on parliamentary inquiries set down by the Supreme Court in the Abellari case. This important bill was debated in the Oireachtas and passed in late June 2013. The Taoiseach then announced in the Dáil last September 2013 that a banking inquiry would be held under Minister Howlin's new Act. And since then, the Oireachtas officials have prepared the necessary new standing orders of the House that are before us and will facilitate a parliamentary inquiry. I would like to express my appreciation to them for the work that they have completed. Under the 2013 Act, new standing orders are required to complete the framework to establish parliamentary inquiries. These new standing orders, in effect, create the parliamentary system for establishing an inquiry. They give the Committee of Procedure and Privilege the additional powers required under the Act in terms of assessing of proposals and terms of reference, the appointment of the committee and dealing with the allegations of bias. A number of guidelines for the operation of parliamentary inquiries are also being established and will come before the CPP for consultation shortly. Once this framework is in place, it will be for each Oireachtas committee to submit proposals to CPP to hold an inquiry. The CPP will have the power to receive submissions from committees, provide guidelines to committees on the conduct of inquiries, give compulsory consent and report to the Dáil, and for the Dáil to consider before voting on any terms of reference for an inquiry. Importantly, the new standing orders also set out how allegations or the perception of bias can be dealt with. The Committee of Procedure and Privilege can consider any issue of bias and report to the Dáil on the matter. As colleagues said over the weekend, we have to be sensible and practical about this issue. Many public representatives have commented on the Irish banking system and its role in the economic crisis, but we must be aware of the dangers of bias or the perception of bias of members who have made comments or allegations against specific individuals who are to appear before the inquiry. This will be an all-party balanced committee. Nobody wants politics to be played with such an important issue, and the all-party Committee on Procedure and Privilege is playing a significant role in establishing the new inquiry system. In addition, the new standing orders lay out procedures for the replacement of the chair of the inquiry should he or she resign. If this occurs, the chair will be replaced by the full Dáil and not just the committee members. The timing of the new banking inquiry has been queried, but the timetable and sequence of events which I have just outlined is perfectly clear. There is no big conspiracy theory here. If the proposed referendum had passed in October 2011, this banking inquiry would have been established over a year ago. Snide references to the timing of the bank inquiry and the upcoming local and European elections are ridiculous. There will be no former Fianna Fáil Taoiseach or minister or any Green or PT politician before any inquiry before the elections in May. The 2013 Act does not allow for any findings of the inquiry to be passed on to Gardaí. They can only be given to the Dáil and for the Dáil to act on findings to prevent repeats of mistakes. Clearly, if the 2011 referendum had passed, Oireachtas inquiries would have had more powers, but the failure of that referendum means that inquiries must be more restricted. However, we have reformed the Oireachtas committee system, and the quality of work being undertaken by all committees is clear for all to see. The aim of the government in establishing a banking inquiry has always been about finding out what happened, how it happened, and why decisions were made. It is about making the full facts available for the Irish people. It is about understanding what happened and ensuring it will never happen again. Indeed, we all know the personalities involved, but those that have retired and those that are still in the Dáil, but it is not and never has been about personalities. I and my party believe that it is vitally important that the Irish people hear directly from those people who made the decisions that brought about the near economic collapse of the country. It is only right that everyone, whether a former Taoiseach, minister, bankers, regulators, civil servants, auditors, account for their actions and their role in the terrible economic crisis of the past few years that has such terrible impact on so many Irish people.
Thank you, Deputy.